February is bringing us a few horror movies and a couple of TV show releases. So let's get through them all. Welcome to my channel. My name is Claudia and I ramble mostly about horror. So grab a drink, get comfy, and it's time to talk about some new releases. Should we start with the film that I'm most excited about? Because I think we should. The Mortuary Assistant is being released on the 16th of February, and it's based on a very popular horror video game. The story follows Rebecca Owens, a mortuary science graduate who takes a night job at Riverfield's mortuary, only to discover that the place is haunted by terrifying supernatural forces. Going back to the beginning of the month, on the 6th, we have The Strangers Chapter 3. And I'm not gonna lie, the masks are awesome, but Chapter 1 disappointed me. I found it very boring, to the point where I haven't even watched the sequel yet. And in this one, we follow Maya once again as she faces the masked killers. And of course, she tries to escape the nightmare. Also, on the same day, we have Whistle, that mixes body horror with monsters. And this story follows a group of misfits who discover a Aztec death whistle. And when they blow it, the horrific sound it makes summons their future deaths. And they're coming after them. I don't know about you, but this gives me Final Destination vibes. On the 20th, we have Psycho Killer, and this one is pretty straightforward. A police officer is hunting down the person who murdered her husband. So if you're into slashers, this might be just right up your street. Now, this is just my opinion, but I do have really strong feelings about the next movie, because I'm just not really bothered about this franchise anymore, and that is Scream. Scream 7 is coming out on the 27th, and there's nothing new here. There's yet another Ghostface killer, and this time the story takes place where Sydney lives. And she's terrified that her daughter might be their next target. And here's another movie that I really don't think it needed a remake, and that is Dracula. Dracula is being released at the beginning of the month. Still, of course, I'm going to watch it. And we all know the story of Dracula, and now we get to see it retold once again. How a prince becomes a monster, and his relentless drive to be reunited with his long-lost love. The Dreadful comes out on the 20th with Sophie Turner, Kit Harington, and Marcia Gay Harden. These three lead the story that follows two women living a solitary life on the outskirts of society, until a man from their past returns and triggers a series of unsettling events. Next up, we have a splatter comedy horror with some very familiar faces, and that is Cold Storage. Cold Storage is out on the 13th, and it's all about a highly dangerous fungus that escapes from a lab. And there's a former bioterrorism agent that is pulled back into action, and joining him are two young employees, all ready-ish to fight this invisible threat. And the last movie that I'm going to talk about is Gale Yellow Brick Road. And this one is being released on the 11th. We had Wicked, and now we have Gale, where Dorothy is now an elderly woman haunted by her past, and she does her best to warn her granddaughter about Oz. And Oz used to be a land full of colors, and now it's twisted by horrors. And she needs to tell her granddaughter before she gets pulled into it herself. Moving on to TV and streaming, we have two series coming out this month. I'm saying TV and streaming, but it's actually just streaming. And the first one is Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, Season 2. And this one is on Apple TV. I watched the first season, and I'm not gonna lie, it's all about Godzilla and the other Titans for me. So I'm hoping we get even more of this in Season 2. And in this season, we see the characters continue their journey to uncover buried secrets and their connection to Monarch. Now, I've never heard of The Unknowable before, but it started as a series of YouTube shorts and is now being expanded into a long format. This series is going to be called The Unknowable Darkland, coming to Screambox. And there's a local teen that disappears in the Darkland amusement park. And we follow a detective investigating the mysterious disappearance, which apparently he opens a whole can of worms filled with cosmic and supernatural horror, which I find very, very intriguing and I already added to my watch list. So I want to know, which movies or shows are you most looking forward to watch, or if I did miss any horror releases, which wouldn't surprise me because horror is taking over 2026 and I, for one, I'm just loving it. Before I go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.